and raised in Dheisheh, one of Bethlehem refugee camps. So Dheisheh was built in 1949 on about 1/10 square mile, rented from the Jordanian government, big enough only for tents placed next to each other, for more than 3,000 people who came from 45 different villages. So in Dheisheh, like my grandparents, a lot of people had been displaced from their own houses to what is now Israel to the west. And after 65 years, we still have the keys to our grandparents' houses. So people in Dheisheh start with a tents, and tents eventually replaced by concrete shelters. And when the families get bigger, every family had the space only where their tents were. So that means there's no separation between the dwellings, and there is no privacy. So sometimes I will ask my sister a question, and I will find our neighbor answer. So as the population in Dheisheh increased, today there are more than 13,000 registered refugees in the camp, and the estimated population is 15,000 people. Imagine you sharing your bathtub with 12 of your neighbors. So in Dheisheh, it was really hard to have what you might think of a normal childhood, because violence was everywhere. My uncle got shot, and he died in his wife's arms while he was in his living room. And we still don't know why. My mom, at one night, she stayed home to take care of my two sisters. My dad was at work. And she tried to prevent the soldiers from coming into the house. And they smashed the iron door on her hands. And she was pregnant. And after the trauma, she had a miscarriage. It's just hurt me to see a lot of my friends and best friends getting arrested, and some of them is still in the prison. Our refugee camps is often a target for soldiers, and violence is almost impossible to avoid. But at the same time, I felt of myself as a lucky, because comparing with other people, I was okay. So my life in the refugee camp, while I had a childhood full of action, I played soccer in the street, and that was the best part of my life, because we had the most flexible goal in the world. The goal was made of 2 rocks, and we can move it whenever we want and wherever we want. And the length of the playground depends on how many players we were. And while I was playing soccer, I would see a lot of piles of clothes floated next to the trash. Somebody knew that someone else needed them, but they never moved. There is no dignity from getting clothes from the trash. So even though I spent my most childhood playing soccer in the street, and I'm a great Real Madrid fan, and I love soccer, but I'm not a good player. So at the age of 11, I started to play basketball with one of Dheisheh institutions. And it was hard to play basketball in the camp, because simply you needed a court and basket. And I tried to be creative, honestly, at some point, and made the basket from 2 rocks, but it didn't work. So I went to the court that was outside of the camp, and I was playing basketball. And when we have games outside the camp, we would go from Bethlehem to Ramallah. And it's only 18 miles, but we will get through 3 checkpoints. So as our neighbors in the house are expanding upward, because they didn't have the chance to expand outward of the camp, all of our neighbors got upward, and we were here, so we couldn't get any fresh air or sun. And also, my sister, Shireen, who has a muscular dystrophy. She had a trouble with the stairs. This is my sister. A trouble with the stairs, and our house wasn't really suitable for her condition. So we moved out of the camp for another house that my father spent 11 years to build it. So I graduated from high school, and I went to Bethlehem University to study business and marketing. And in one of our courses, in order to pass, we should make a business plan. So at that point, I start to observe what we really need in our society. And I noticed that there is a tool used here for a long time, contribute to the local economy and create a stronger community, and made a good use of an abundant and already made resource. But we don't have it in Palestine. At that point, my project was only a file on my laptop. So in this June, I arrived to US with Strong Heart nonprofit organization to participate in English as second language program with House of Tutors, Austin, Texas. How is my English so far? So in Austin, Texas, I learned about Watson University, which is entrepreneurship program. And I applied immediately, and I got accepted, arriving in Colorado in September. And finally, I had the chance to give a voice to my project. So my project is a consignment store, and use the idea of create economy and culture and community in Palestine. And we can extend the life cycle of our resources and create a place to sell and donate clothes. We can create a really good place that the donation will be really useful to other people, especially when sharing is a great value in Palestine. We can share our more memorable items when it's time to pass on. So the basic idea is old clothes could be a great value and pleasure to someone else. So with our high unemployment rate and very complicated tax structure, on the imported goods in Palestine, it's very, very expensive to buy new clothes. I was working 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, and with $350 a month. And when I want to buy a new pants, it will cost me $50, which means 1/7 of my salary will go to only one pants. So still, our new clothes more or less will go from the store to the trash when the newness is gone. So the store idea will extend the life cycle of the clothes. And instead of going only for a group of people, it will be to other people, and they will get the benefits from it. So we can extend our reuse concept when it's like everyday clothes to work clothes, to bags, to beautiful accessories. And we can also create our own resources without paying the high taxes and importing materials. So this space will connect people with each other, especially women, by wearing each other's clothes, and also with sharing our stories. So my clothes in the store will be clean and with the price tags, and with a note from the seller about the sweet memory that the piece carry. I will use this store also to empower women by having more resources, by opening the opportunity for them to exhibit their products and supporting the weak cottage industry in Palestine. And also, I will finally have the space in my closet and sell my clothes in 7th grade. So at the end, I would like to say I really like the idea of driving from Boulder to Denver without even stopping once at single checkpoints. So, and I saw the privileged life here in Austin, in Houston, and in Dallas, Boulder, and Utah, San Francisco. But I felt right at home. After witnessing the flood that happened in Boulder and hearing all of the alarm and helicopter and the thunder sounds, it just brought me back to a place that was my home. It brought me back to Palestine. And if you ask me today if I would ever change any part of my life, I would say no. That life gave me hope. I don't want to change who I am or where I came from. I just want to make Palestine a better place and inspire other women and girls around the world for a powerful change wherever they live. Thank you.